If you and your team deal with a ton of files, then you're leaving serious productivity on the table by not using NotebookLM. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use NotebookLM inside of your business to 10x productivity. So the first question, what is it? So it's an AI tool built out by Google, which can act as a digital nerd inside of your business. So let me explain it further. It's basically a place where you can drop all your files. So maybe PDFs, documents, audio files, slides, YouTube links, and even full websites. You can drop as much information as you want, and then you can just ask it anything. It reads the raw information that you put into it and gives you structured and logical answers. And not only that, it can also help you create document drafts. For example, it can help you create brief documents, it can help you create mind maps, and a lot more. It takes literally minutes to set up, but it can save you hours and hours of your time every single week. NotebookLM handles way more data as compared to ChatGPT or Claude because it has been solely made for that purpose. And the biggest reason why you would go with this as compared to ChatGPT or Claude is because ChatGPT or Claude have been made for creativity, whereas NotebookLM has been made for accuracy. So if you don't want wrong answers, if you don't want hallucination, you gotta go with NotebookLM. So just to give you an example, ChatGPT is like your clever writer, but NotebookLM is like a nerd who reads all the textbooks before giving you an answer. Now the final question, how can you actually use it inside of your business? And that's exactly what we will be talking about in this video. We will understand, is this just a normal fun AI tool that someone can just experiment it? Or is this something that can really save you hours of your time? And trust me, it's the second one. We will be covering 5 major use cases, and the last one would be your favorite one. And yes, I won't just be talking, I will also show you how it's done. So before we get into the use cases, let's go to NotebookLM's website and see how the UI looks like. So here I am on NotebookLM's website. So all you have to do is go to this link, that is notebooklm.google.com, and I will make sure to include the link in the description. As soon as you land on their website, maybe it could ask you to sign in just in case you don't have a Gmail account. But for most of you, it would directly land here. Okay, so to get started, you will have to click on this black button that says Create New Notebook. Okay, let's close this. So you can basically have different notebooks inside of your account, and each notebook can store a different set of data. This is the place where you upload the files or your sources. This is the place where you can have a chat with it to retrieve the information. And this one is something we will cover at the end of the video because this is the most exciting one. So before we get started, a quick introduction about myself. So hello everybody, my name is Yashika Jain and I'm the founder of Automates.ai. Automates.ai is our AI automation agency wherein we integrate AI into businesses. Apart from automating businesses with AI, I also teach how you can automate your business on my YouTube channel for free. So I would highly recommend subscribing to the channel if you want to continue watching such content. And yes, I'm also an AI consultant as well as coach. So if anyone's interested in working with us, then the link to our website is in the description. Go there, check it out. And if you feel you want to integrate AI into your business, then don't forget to book a call with us. Okay, so getting back to work now. So we will be discussing a total of 5 use cases, but I think use case number 1 is something that each and every business should have. It doesn't matter if you're a company, an agency, a consulting service, a coaching service, or anything else. This is really required in each and every business. And the use case I'm talking about is a digital brain for your business. Yes, you heard it right. This is something that you can create using NotebookLM. So you can take all of your business documents, for example, SOPs that are standard operating procedures, your manuals, your Notion pages, your guides, your documentations, your email threads, your Slack conversation, and you can convert them into a searchable notebook which is powered by AI. And now what happens is that every time your team member has a question, then instead of bothering you, they can directly search the notebook. You can think of it as an AI-powered search engine, but just for your business. See, every business for sure has a lot of files with a lot of information in it. But the thing is that the information is not that organized, right? It's scattered all around. And if you want to find one piece of information, you will have to go through, let's say, 4 or 5 PDFs to find it. It's time consuming, it's tedious, and who wants to do that in the age of AI? That's where this digital brain for your business comes into play. It's not only going to save you the headache and the time to answer these small questions that new hires or new employees have, but it's also going to save your team members the time to, go through the SOPs, the PDFs, the documentation, or to send you an email and then wait for your response. So it's, a win-win situation for both. And it's not only limited to answering questions, you can also get it to, draft documents, draft briefs, mind maps, notes, and all of that, as I talked about. And now that you know how important this is, let's go ahead and see how you can actually set it up. Okay, so this is the notebook that we had created previously in the video, and now all we have to do is put in the documents. So as I said, any SOPs you have, any guides, documentation, manuals, or anything that would be helpful for your team members is your source. So grab all of it from wherever it is and then put it here. So now let's talk about what all you can upload. So you can upload PDFs, you can upload text files, markdown files, audio files. You can also upload Google Docs, Google Slides. You can add the link to a website, YouTube channel, actually a YouTube video, and you can also manually copy paste text. So right now, the sources are limited to 50. That means that you can have a total of 50 sources inside of each notebook. Just in case you have more than 50 sources, what you can do is you can consolidate similar looking PDFs. So if there are 5 PDFs talking about the same thing, then you can kind of merge it into one PDF and then upload it. And I'm sure that in the future, this limit is going to increase, and also on the paid plans, this limit increases. Okay, so right now I have uploaded 5 sources to my notebook. So all I did was I went to add and then upload, and I selected all of the 5 PDFs. And as you can see, they have been listed here. So these 5 documents are basically SOPs, manuals, and documentations for a hypothetical marketing agency. And if you click on each source, you will be able to see the summary for that particular document, and then you can obviously see the text of that document. And then on the main chat, you can see a quick, summary of what all of these documents consist of. And then you can go ahead and rename your notebook. So we can rename it to Digital Brain. Awesome. And that's it. That's how easy it was to set up a digital brain for your business. You just go to add and you put in all the documents that you have. And they've also given you examples like marketing plans, research notes, meeting transcripts, sales documents, etc. Now let's take a situation. So let's suppose I'm a new employee in this agency and I don't know what is the QA checklist before launch. So what I'll do is I will simply come to the notebook and I will put my question. And it's not really necessary to frame it as a question. You can just type it normally. So QA checklist before launch, and you hit send. After that, it's going to go through all your sources and it's going to come back with the response. And it actually responded really quickly, and here's the checklist. So this is what the employee has to make sure before launching. He or she needs to make sure that the links are tested, these are verified, this is submitted, etc. And now if you want to understand where it is getting this information from, all you can do is hover over this button, and then you can see that, okay, this was mentioned in the documents and that's where it got the information from. If you want to copy and paste it somewhere, you can do that. If you want to give it feedback, you can do that. So it's a way to train the notebook as well. And a very interesting feature here is the save to note feature. So unlike ChatGPT or Claude, it does not save your conversation or chat history. So just in case you come back to it, you won't see this answer anywhere because that will be gone. So if you want to actually save the answer, then you will have to click on this button and that would save it to the system so that whenever you return, you can actually refer back to the answer. So I clicked on this button and as you can see, it has been saved under notes. Okay, so I'll just refresh this and let's ask it another question. So let's ask a direct question this time. So my question would be, where can I find the latest creative assets for a client? And I'm going to hit send and let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so here's the answer. So basically, there are two places where I can find the creative assets. One is in the client portal, and I think here you have the steps of how you can, go and access that. And the second is Google Drive, and again, it has told where you can go ahead and find that, which is nice. It's referring to two different sources and it's telling me two different places where I can find that. So let's wrap it off by asking one more question. So let's say that a new employee has joined and they want to mark a content piece as urgent and they don't know how to do that. Then they go ahead and ask that, what do I do if a content task is urgent? And let's see if it's able to find the information. Okay, so this time the answer was quite concise. So if a content task is urgent, you should add a fire emoji to the ClickUp task and notify the relevant team members in Slack. As simple as that. And yes, please don't forget to use this feature of saving to note. If you don't, then you will lose all of these answers. Okay, so we've learned how we can upload the sources, how we can query them. Now, how do your employees access it? So all you have to do is share it with them. So basically, you can come here and add your team members. It's very similar to how you do it in Google Docs and Google Sheets. And then you can select the restrictions and then share the link with them. Apart from that, if you come to settings, you will be able to see this option, output language. And if you go there, you can actually change the language in which you would want your output to be in. So they have actually a ton of languages and you can search from them and select whichever one your employees are more comfortable with. In this use case, I have only uploaded 5 PDFs because, this is hypothetical, but you should have at least 20 to 30 sources to actually call it a digital brain for your business. And it's something where you'll have to keep updating it. So you will have to keep adding more and more to it as time passes. Moving on to use case number 2. So use case number 2 is one notebook per project. So you might be handling different projects inside of your business, and all you have to do is create a separate notebook for each project, and you will be uploading any documents associated to that particular project in that particular notebook. So it could be your meeting notes, it could be proposals, discussions, email threads, email histories, Slack histories, and any other document which is specifically for that project. And then anytime you need any context about the project, you have any question, then you can just ask it. So it's more like a project manager, but it actually remembers everything at every given point in time. So how is it different from the first one? So in the first one, you were putting like everything in one place, right? But in this one, it's more specifically for that client, for that project. And trust me, it is going to save you a lot of time. So let's see how. It's very similar to the first one. So we will come out of this, we will create new, and here you can similarly add those files. Okay, so here I've uploaded 3 files, 3 PDFs about a particular project. Again, hypothetical. So we have the proposal, we have the call meeting notes, we have the project overview. And we can just name it by the client's name. And now you can give access to the team members that are working on this project. They can start off with designing a mind map. So let's click here. And now, as you can see here, it's generating a new mind map for this project. Okay, so it's ready. Let's click to open. And there you go. Okay, it looks good. So paid add project. Then we have the project summary. Okay, this is cool. Okay, nice. So the target audience, that's D2C and health conscious buyers aged 25 to 34. Then we have the objectives. Then we have the key dates. So the project starts, the target launch, the project duration, kickoff. Then we have the deliverables, and you can also expand it more till it's giving you an option to. And then we have the contacts. So these are the people that are working on the project. So this information was mentioned in the proposal and the project overview. And as you can see, we have it here. And here we have the systems that are used. We have the project notes. We have the commercials. We have the terms. And we also have the goals. And if you had noticed, it took merely a minute or two to get this in place. And it's actually really nice. You can also download it and you can save it to later on view it. And for a visual person like me, and for a person who does not like to go through documents, this is huge. I personally hate going through proposals to, find what we're doing for the client, and having it all just in front of my eyes in this particular format really helps. Let's try generating a briefing document this time. Okay, and it's done. Let's see. Okay, so here's the brief. So basically all about your project from all your sources in one place. And I'm kind of surprised how it's coming up with it in so less time. Great. And you can also add it to the source if you want to. But I think we're good for now. And lastly, the timeline. Let's see how it comes up with the timeline for the project. It did come up with it in the mind map. Let's see how it does in this case. Okay, we have it. Okay, so July 1, project kickoff call, and 2, proposal, 4, 5, 6, 12, 15. And okay, great. And this was all mentioned in the source. It's not making it up, okay? And then we have the team members. Okay, great. Very, very impressed. And we haven't asked a question yet. Let's go ahead and ask a question. So let's say that someone was not present on the call while the client was talking about the concerns, etc. So they can just come here and ask what were the branding concerns that the client raised during the call, and it can come up with the bullet points. So the first concern was that the existing branding isn't converting with Gen Z and millennials. So that's one, and then so on and so forth. You can also see where it's getting the information from. Awesome. So I hope from now on you will create a new notebook for each project, and don't forget to create a mind map. This is incredible. So let's move over to use case number 3. I hope you're enjoying the video so far and finding value. If so, please consider liking the video. So use case 3 is a bit more on the creative side, which I think you should have. So let's see what it is. So it's a creative advisor on demand. See, we all have a creator, a YouTuber, a podcaster that we look up to, that we listen to, that we take advice from. For example, Alex Hormozy. But they have limited number of videos, and then it's not necessary that every situation you are in, they have a video for that. That's not necessary, right? So in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to take all of their YouTube videos, or at least the top performing or your favorite YouTube videos or podcasts, and we are going to drop it in the notebook. Okay, so we're going to give it the brain of Alex Hormozy, for example, and next time you're in a situation for which there is no existing video and you don't know what to do, and you would really want to get Alex Hormozy's advice on that, then all you got to do is go to the notebook and ask it, and then based on all the logical thinking, it will get back to you, just like Alex Hormozy would. And you won't believe, this is something that I had set up in my earlier days when NotebookLM didn't even exist. So I had used some other technologies and I had got it set up, and I still use it till date. But at that time, we didn't have the option to just put the YouTube link and, get the information. We had to kind of transcribe it and do the thing. But now all you got to do is drop the links. So let's go ahead and create one for Alex Hormozy. Okay, so here in front of me, I have the YouTube links to his top performing videos, and we're going to go ahead and put it inside of the notebook. So let's grab the first link and go to the website. So we're going to come out of this. We're going to click on Create New. And this time we are going to select YouTube as the source, and we're going to paste the link here. Okay, let me move myself here and let's click on Insert. So this has been done. Similarly, let me add all the rest. Okay, so I have added all the 6 videos and we have the titles right here. Let's go ahead and change it. Or we can say Alex Hormozy's advice, or AI version, or AI persona, whatever you want to name it. And we have a quick summary of that. Okay, so let's ask it a question. Now this time I'm thinking of choosing it from these examples. So let's go with this one. So, how do the sources redefine work and effort in the context of business growth and wealth accumulation? It's a great question, to be honest. I really like it. Let's see what it comes up with as the answer. Okay, there you go. We have a long one, which is nice. So it starts with here's how these terms are redefined, and then it goes bullet by bullet and actually, explains each and every bullet point. So let me ask it another question. Okay, so here's my question. What would Alex Hormozy do if he were stuck at a revenue figure for more than 12 months? And how would he scale? What steps would he take? So let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so it actually took some time, but it came up with the steps to scale. So here's the first step, and I think this is really good. Double down on better before bigger, right? Leverage human capital, optimize financial levers and offers, redefine advertising and sales strategy, relentless focus and patience. So avoid shiny object syndrome, which we all tend to have a lot of times, and great, a 6-step process. And I personally think if someone follows these 6 steps as they have been written, they will for sure increase their revenue and scale their business. So that was the third use case. I really hope you create one for your favorite creator as well. So let's go ahead to use case number 4. Use case number 4 is an instant analyst. So it is not limited to only answering questions. It can actually analyze data and give you meaningful insights. So you can upload reports, inventory data, dashboards, sales data, or any data, which basically numbers, right? You can upload numbers to it, and then you can ask it questions like what changed between June and July, right? Or where are we losing money? Or what is a product that we should focus more on? Or whose inventory should be doubled down? So let's go ahead and see it in action. Let's see how it analyzes data. So we'll come out of this, we will create a new notebook, and let's upload the sources. Okay, so I have uploaded my YouTube's performance report for the last 28 days, and I'm going to go ahead and see how it's going to, give me answers to my questions. Okay, so here's my question to it. So, what kind of videos should I double down on based on historical success? So, if you pay attention, this is not something you can get a direct answer to. You will have to think about it and come up with the kind of videos that would perform well. So, I'm going to go ahead and let me just tell it to not mention the revenue numbers. So, don't mention revenue. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it came up with the answer. So, firstly, it's telling me which video performed well and how much watch time it got, how many subscribers it got, and CTR and stuff like that. Then some other videos of mine that performed well. And after that, it's telling me that I should focus more on practical and specific AI agent building videos and automation tutorials, especially those integrating with platforms like WhatsApp or Instagram. And it's also telling me that if any video gets over 5,000 views, I should repackage it into other formats like, shorts and stuff like that. So yeah, I really think that this answer is coming from a very intelligent person. And I told it to not mention the revenue numbers, and it actually did not. So the information was there in the report, but it did not mention it, which is great. Now let me ask it to project future trends. So I'm going to ask it that based on the current trends, what is the projected watch time next month? Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so total watch time accumulated to date. Now I'm not sure if this is for like 28 days or... Never mind. So the daily view trend over the last 7 days shows a weekly average of this much. So while we have consistent daily view engaged, the sources do not provide an average watch time per view or an average daily watch time. Without this information, it's not possible to project future watch time. Okay, so it seems that it refused to kind of predict the watch time for the next month because it says that it does not have enough information to predict that. So it means that it's fault on my side that I haven't given it much information to predict that information. Okay, not bad. So just make sure whenever you're creating any analyst, you must give it as much information as possible, as many points and numbers as possible if you want to project for future. Okay, and now we've finally reached to the last use case, which you should be excited about because it's something really new, which other platforms don't really have right now. So I guess some of you might have guessed what it is. So let's go and see what it is. So it is generate podcasts from your documents. New, right? And a bit strange as well. So basically, it's text to podcast, or you can say documents to podcast. Now, where does this use case come handy? So let's say you're traveling, you don't want to read, right? Your eyes are paining, straining. And in that case, all you can do is you can put whatever content you want to inside of the LM, and then you can ask it to convert it into a podcast. And it's not just a summary, actually. It's actually a podcast. It's two people talking, just like it is in an actual podcast. So, for example, create a podcast that explains our Q3 plan in simple English. And it sounds very real, as if two real people are talking, and it's very exciting. Okay, so here in front of me, I have this link to a blog post. Okay, now the blog post is long and I don't want to read it. I might just put my AirPods and listen to, a podcast style summary while I am traveling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to head over to NotebookLM. Now I'm going to go out and I'm going to create a new one. This time I'm going to select website as the source and I'm going to paste that particular blog post URL. And I'm going to insert it. Okay, so as you can see, it has been inserted. Now, sometimes it might show you red caution sign. That means that that particular website won't work and you'll have to change it. But for most websites, it works well. And not only links, you can also put documents, PDFs, and get like an audio style podcast from it. So as you can see, it has already given us a text summary, which is great. But now let's go ahead and generate the audio. So remember in the beginning, I told you that we will discuss about this later. So now is the time to discuss it. So as you can see, deep dive conversation. We have two hosts here. And what we're going to do is we're going to customize it. So the first thing is selecting the length. So do you want it to be short? Do you want it to be like mid-level? Or do you want it to be long? I like to keep it to the default one. And then here you can give it pointers about what the AI speakers should focus on. So let's say things to consider. Okay, so my first point is speak to the point. A founder is listening to you. So you don't have to blabber and, keep on talking about the same point again and again. So stick to the point. Then talk about the key points only. We don't want the extra information. We just need to know what happened new, etc. And my third point is add a touch of humor so that I don't get bored while listening to it. So yeah, those are the 3 pointers and we're going to generate it. Now for this one, it might take a few minutes because you should understand it's going to look into the source, it's going to filter through, it's going to create the outline, the script, then it would convert it into a voice. So it can take a few minutes. In the meantime, you can do some other work. And then once it's ready, you can give it a listen. And also, if you see this thing, it's available in more languages, not just English. So if you want, you can go through it and see which all languages it's available in. Okay, so it's ready. Let's go ahead and listen to it. And we also have an interactive mode, which we're going to explore. But for now, let's listen to it. So it's 4 minutes and 39 seconds.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise, pulling out the key insights from the latest sources so you stay ahead. Today, we're jumping into a pretty wild intersection. Think cutting-edge AI, massive government contracts, and, well, Elon Musk. Specifically, we're looking at xAI's move into the U.S. government AI space. Our main source for this is an article from the Economic Times dated July 14th, 2025.
And the mission today, especially if you're listening as, say, a founder or someone focused on strategy, is really to figure out how a tech company, even one with a, let's say, a high-profile leader like Musk, manages to break into the government contracting world. It's notoriously complex, right? We're going to uncover some key strategic plays and a backstory that's, well, it's pretty surprising.
Okay, let's get right into it then.
Hi.
The huge news is that xAI has officially rolled out something called Grok for Government. And the source makes it clear this isn't, just one tool. It's described as a suite of frontier AI models, specifically built for U.S. government clients.
Yeah. And that term frontier AI models is really important here. For anyone in tech, that signals the most advanced stuff, the cutting edge. Applying that to government, that's significant. It suggests capabilities for handling really complex, sensitive tasks, sophisticated analysis, maybe even.
Awesome. So I'm impressed, like always. And now let's also see the interactive mode. So it's basically the same thing but with wavelengths.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise, pulling out the key.
Yeah. And you also see the join button here. So if you click on it, you will actually be able to speak with the host, which is great, right? So, but focusing more on the podcast, it was great. It started with a great introduction, what we're going to cover. Then there were two hosts, they were talking to each other. Now, we obviously can't listen to the whole thing right now, but trust me, it's great. And while customizing, and also, yeah, you can change the playback speed, right? If you think it's fast, you can slow it down. If you think it's slow, you can fasten it. And then you can also download it and you can also share it, which is great, right? So yeah, that's about this. So instead of reading the entire blog post, you can listen to this 5-minute recording and, understand what's happening. Okay, so that was our use case number 5. I really hope you enjoyed it because this one is really exciting and my most favorite. Okay, so now a few more use cases that I'm going to cover quickly. So you can have a notebook that can help you with your legal stuff. So summarizing legal contracts, understanding them, analyzing them, right? So obviously it's not going to replace your lawyer, but it still helps, right? You can have context before having a call with your lawyer. So that's a good one. Then we have auto-generate training material. So basically, you can put all the information in and then you can ask it to draft training materials, SOPs, etc. The third one is interesting. It is screen resumes against hiring criteria. So every time you hire for a new role, you have criterias and expectations, etc. So you can upload that particular document with all the expectations you have. And then you can also upload the resume of the person and then you can get it to check, right, both of them. So which are the criteria that he or she is fulfilling, which are not, and it can give you an analysis whether or not they are a good fit for the role. And lastly, prep talking points from past emails or reports. So you put in a lot of emails, your long email thread, and you can get it to, pinpoint the talking points. So those were a few more use cases that I would want to leave with you that you should work on and experiment. Now, here's my advice to you. Take 20 minutes out and play with this AI tool. And you will be hooked to it. It's seriously a great AI tool. It's for internal usage inside of your team, right? And also, if you have any new ideas as to how you can use this inside of your business, then don't forget to drop them in the comments. I would love to give it a read. And obviously, please hit the like button if you really like the video. Also, if you're interested in integrating AI into your business, if you have any use case you want to work on, an MVP, or maybe just, going in and seeing what we can automate, then don't forget to check out our website, link in the description. You'll find all that we do, our services, etc. all over there. Also, the link to my LinkedIn account is in the description. So don't forget to give me a follow and connect with me because a lot is going to come there as well. So yeah, I really hope you liked the video. I will meet you in the next one. Till then, bye.